The Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW, adopted in 1979 by the UN General Assembly, is often described as an international Bill of Rights for women. The Convention defines discrimination against women as any distinction, exclusion, or restriction made on the basis of sex which has the effect or purpose of impairing or nullifying the recognition, enjoyment, or exercise by women, irrespective of their marital status, on a basis of equality of men and women, of human rights and fundamental freedoms in the political, economic, social, cultural, civil, or any other field. More than 1 billion in the world today, the great majority of whom are women, live in unacceptable conditions of poverty, mostly in the developing countries. WFP believed that women are the first and fastest solution to reducing hunger and poverty. They not only cook food, they sow, reap, and harvest it. It is estimated that 8 out of 10 people engaged in farming in Africa are women and 6 out of 10 in Asia. In 1 out of 3 households around the world, women are the sole breadwinners. Some females fall prey to violence before they are born, when expectant parents abort their unborn daughters, hoping for sons instead.
You see, a lot of things have been said and done about this female feticide. I personally feel that this can only be solved by educating the normal lay people.
In other societies, girls are subjected to such traditional practices as circumcision, which leave them maimed and traumatized. In others, they are compelled to marry at an early age before they are physically, mentally, or emotionally mature.
That these underage females, either they deliver a very weak child or a premature baby or a baby with so many defects. So such children are again a burden to the society.
Asked how many children he had fathered, the former United States boxing champion Muhammad Ali told an interviewer, 1 boy and 7 mistakes. A preliminary report in 1994 by the Special Rapporteur, Ms. Radhika Kumaraswamy, focused on 3 areas of concern where women are particularly vulnerable. In the family, including domestic violence, traditional practices, infanticide. In the community, including rape, sexual assault, commercialized violence such as trafficking in women, labor exploitation, female migrant workers, etc. And by the state, including violence against women in detention as well as violence against women in situations of armed conflict and against refugee women.
Women or womanhood is not about vulnerability at all. I think it's about a deep sense of quiet acceptance and strength about our abilities to multitask, our abilities to educate, our abilities to care, nurture, several things that create who we are. So I think the very fact that despite all of this strength, we still consider the weaker sex or the inferior sex is actually quite infuriating.
In every situation, women suffer the worst. And in a situation where the extraordinary happenings like a terrorist attack or a war or an external threat, an aggression, women and children are to be the worst sufferers.
States should exercise due diligence to prevent, investigate, and, in accordance with national legislation, punish acts of violence against women, whether those acts are perpetrated by the state or by private persons. Changing people's attitude and mentality towards women will take a long time, at least a generation, many believe, and perhaps longer. Nevertheless, raising awareness of the issue of violence against women and educating boys and men to view women as valuable partners in life, in the development of a society, and in the attainment of peace are just as important as taking legal steps to protect women's human rights.
The whole world is trying for women's empowerment, and there are hundreds and thousands of initiatives which are laudable initiatives, and I think women have done fairly well. They have also taken the lead in leading so many initiatives in the world, which are for their empowerment, for the empowerment of the society at large.
Perhaps Margaret Mead, the illustrious anthropologist's words, "Every time we liberate a woman, we liberate a man," may be true.